Ladies and gentlemen, after having been in research most of my life and now looking back, I realize what a great opportunity I've had. I started studying medicine a long time ago. My inborn curiosity about analysis of complex systems affected eventually my decision to prefer biomedical research above practical medicine. It enabled me to define problems, address them, and then see if the problem was solved. But soon I discovered that the solution was a new problem. Another important aspect was sharing ideas with colleagues who criticized and very often improved my ideas. My first international conference was a mixture of nervousness for my first presentation and excitement being able to discuss my ideas with others. Now, after many years, I'm standing here on behalf of the Solco W Tromp Foundation. Tromp was a Dutch geologist by origin who became fascinated by the interaction between living matter on the one hand side and weather and climate on the other. After he died, the foundation he had created aimed to bring together researchers in the fields of biometeorology, to stimulate researchers to deliver excellent work, and to help young researchers to participate in conferences and to build a network there. Because research is preferably not done alone. That resulted eventually in the EMS Tromp Award, the EMS Student Awards, and the support to specific workshops. An international conference in particular is important because nowadays we are worldwide confronted with the consequences of a highly human-induced climate crisis. Research is traditionally divided in fundamental and applied research, which is in fact an absurd distinction when it comes to a value of judgment. But in times of crisis, the necessity of action prevails, and that makes this Congress even more important. The Tromp Foundation is therefore extremely happy that the board of the EMS has given the foundation the opportunity to contribute through this sponsorship to more insight into and the development of adaptation mechanisms concerning the effect of the current climate change. A change that threatens life on Earth at such a large scale. I wish you a very, but most of all, pleasant meeting.
Thank you for the 2020 Outstanding Achievement in Biometeorology Award. Since the award, we've continued our work with the Cloudy with a Chance of Pain dataset in 3 ways. First, Belay Yimmer, one of the members of our team, led the publication of an article in the journal Pain looking into the heterogeneity in our dataset for people's self-reported pain levels and their link to weather. Now, after adjusting for various effects, we found 1 in 10 patients with chronic pain were sensitive to the temperature, 1 in 25 were sensitive to relative humidity, and 1 in 50 were sensitive to pressure. Now, this study also examined how participants' disease diagnosis affected their sensitivity to the weather. Now, we found no definite indication that individuals' underlying pain conditions were explained by their disease, although participants that had inflammatory arthritis may have been more sensitive to cold than the other conditions. Now, second, we have a PhD student, Claire Little. She's looking into clustering people based on the time series of reporting pain. In other words, do they have the same pain level every day, or does it vary widely day to day? These time series can then be used to construct pain forecasts for individuals in these various subgroups. And finally, Belay, Claire, and I have been investigating whether the time that people spent outside affected their sensitivity to pain. Now, work has just begun on that, but we hope to report the results in the future.
Hello, I'm Branislava Lalic. I'm professor of meteorology and biophysics at Faculty of Agriculture at University of Novi Sad in Serbia. During the last almost 30 years, my focus was on dynamical modeling of biophysical processes and development of biometeorological models. My background is actually in physics, but since graduation through my postgraduate and PhD studies, I was very much focused on parameterization of physical processes describing biosphere-atmosphere interaction. And at the beginning, it was just a forest-atmosphere interaction because of two quite good reasons. Namely, first is that turbulent transfer within the forest is actually fascinating, the process. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating, particularly when you're witnessing how much this forest-atmosphere interaction affects weather conditions, even at synoptic scales. And when you are aware that the top of the vegetation actually penetrates through the lowest level of numerical weather prediction models and very much affects this forecast behind the modeler's back, actually. Second reason was more practical ones, namely, first 8 years of my scientific career are spent in some sort of isolation, let's say, from international community. So without internet, journals, data, networking, conferences, anything. And somehow I managed to retrieve data from all the journals and books, and some colleagues from, hopefully, luckily, I mean, turbulent forest measurement community managed to send me some data. So I did some job modeling turbulent transfer between forest and atmosphere, I mean, presence of vegetation, in my attempt to somehow squeeze nature into equations. However, my real passion is with data and deep data mining while looking after atmospheric phenomena which are signature of presence of plants. Luckily, 10 years ago, our government decided to invest in forecasting and the reporting service for plant protection of the Republic of Serbia. An important part of this service is actually a network of automated weather stations. So it was actually a few hundred of them installed within the canopies or orchards or vineyards, and they are nicely monitored and managed. And suddenly my real scientific love can flourish. Now we have more than 10 years of micrometeorological and phenological data. We have monitored the plant dynamics and even harmful organisms dynamics. So it is super exciting to derive measured data instead of some functions fitted from measurements, and search for intensity of processes and some new sources of phenomena which we can see in this measured data or identify on plants. And at the end, I'm using this opportunity to acknowledge my fellow companions on this journey and co-authors of awarded paper, Anna Firenstremac, David Fitzgerald, Milena Mačić, and Mina Petrić. Even after all these years, it looks like we are on the beginning. Thank you.
Good day to everyone. My name is Matej and I come from Zagreb, Croatia, where I work as a project associate at the Department of Geophysics at Faculty of Science. Actually, I am a geographer. However, I managed to find my interdisciplinary way at the Department of Geophysics, where I work closely with meteorologists and climatologists on multiple projects. Mainly, we research about Croatian climate variability and climate change, but as well we look into topics such as global impacts and possible local green solutions. My passions are remote sensing and GIS, and I like to combine these two fields in order to provide a better understanding of urban climates of cities in Croatia, and as well to give a possible solutions to mitigate negative consequences of phenomena such as urban heat island. Lastly, I look forward to seeing you all in Bonn in September.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanna Raymond and I'm a PhD student at the University of East Anglia in the UK. So hopefully by the time we reach the conference I will have handed in my thesis, which has been looking at how the agroclimate in the UK has changed over the past few decades and how this climate variability has affected crop yields. So I'm very grateful for this Tromp Travel Award to allow me to get to the European Meteorological Society annual conference, and I look forward to meeting you all there. See you soon!
Hello everyone, my name is Branimir Romazic. I'm PhD candidate and research assistant at University of Zagreb, Faculty of Science, Department of Geophysics. Through my work, I study climate change and its impact on viticulture in Croatia. My main goal is to help the end user, winemakers, to adapt to new situation and new climate conditions. Because of that, I am very grateful for this award and you letting me to present our work at this year's EMS conference in Bonn. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Marcel Gangwisch. I'm working here at the German Meteorological Service in Freiburg and I belong to the Research Center for Human Biometeorology. My background is in computer science, which I studied starting from 2010, and I'm interested mainly in environmental science, urban climate and in human biometeorology. And here at the German Meteorological Service, I'm working for the project Green Lung, which you can see mainly here to my left side. And this project wants to quantify the thermal impact of urban green infrastructure on the human thermal comfort. The outcome of this project, which I want to present at this conference, is mainly a heat warning system, which is specific for the city of Karlsruhe. And thank you very much. And I also want to say thank you for Tromp Foundation for this travel grant.